Firm believer that a garden is never really completed. And this is a good example of it. This is the area outside of the Moroccan room, just right across from the pond. There's the pond over on the left-hand side. We're shooting it kind of in a half sun, half shade here, so hopefully you'll get a good example of it. This had two paths on either side of that middle area there. The middle area has stones underneath it, but they just have sand in between them, and that was put there so that we could clean up the bird food that falls down below it, so that we could keep it nice and healthy for the birds. But a mole has gotten in there, and he's done some major damage. I have a lot of daffodils in there, and as you can see, he's created these big, huge piles in there that have totally destroyed it. I mean, he's even pulled up big pieces of stone that I had in there. He's just a nasty little booger, okay? And then these plants here, that's the leftovers of those beautiful columbines, okay? They'll replant themselves. That's what I keep telling myself. All over here, let's go a little bit closer. Here's some Mexican feathergrass that's come up, and some ground cover called ajuga, which is nice when it's there, okay? And then this used to be this is the path that has the Japanese flat black rock and my stones, which maybe I'd even repaint. This bed over here used to have daffodils in it too, and he's eaten all of those. So now all it has is a few crocosmia toward the back, the Lucifer, the tall ones, and this one daylily, which is naturally on its wane because it's time for it. So I'm going to put the new daylilies that I ordered from the catalog that James sent me in that bed when they come. And we're going to I'm going to step back up here on the steps of the porch. Amos and I are going to literally take all of this out today, down to the ground, including the stones that are buried under the dirt the mole has pushed out into the path. And we're going to prep this area so that we can have a new area that has some nice stones that Dad can walk on. I'm thinking about seriously putting some little pockets in the areas so that we can have some ornamental grasses, maybe 3 ornamental grasses that are out here. I don't think there's any daffodil bulbs left. I'm going to kind of shovel through it and sift through it and see if there's anything in that pile that he's left that's worth having. And then we're going to take out some of this ground cover on the side here and widen the path also. So it'll be a nice area that anybody could walk through, and it'll look a heck of a lot nicer than what it does now, which is very shabby, as the English would say, I believe. I think that's a proper word. So I'll come back to you in a little bit whenever Amos and I get some of this underway so that you can see the process that we go through. Talk to you later. Out at maybe an hour. You can see that we've got quite a few of the stones here that we've dug up. I'm going to walk you down here. We're going to go into some light here, but you'll be able to see it. And Amos is working on clearing out this path. I've been working on doing the other side here. We've already filled up one recycle barrel. I was going to sift out those black rocks. You can see I've got some there, but it's going to take too much time, so we'll do that later. But, hey, look, the gopher did not get all of my daffodils. I do have some left. So there is hope left in our world. So there it is in partial disarray, and we'll show you it a little bit later on when we get it totally flat and get the ground cover on. Some major headway. Amos is still working on getting out the last pieces of the stones that are in the way, and we've cleared it away. The next step is to level it out, and then we'll put the ground cloth down for it, and then it'll have to wait for a couple of weeks until we can get the stones to lay down part of the work. It turns out that once we got it all evened up, we were going to have tripping hazards on either side when we put the pavers down. So Amos is trying to work up the dirt so we can remove about 2 inches of it in order to make it low enough so that we can put the ground cloth, the sand, the pavers, and then the minus gravel in between, so that Dad does not trip as he comes down that walkway right there behind Amos. You can see it. Down to this walkway here and not trip. So while he does the bird feeders. So there you have it in a nutshell. Lots more work than you expected, as always in the garden. All sun now, so we're going to give it a rest, even though we didn't get the ground cloth down, but we got it dug out a good 2 inches, and we've laid a little path there in case it rains so Daddy can get to his bird feeders. And in another couple of weeks when Amos can come again, we'll put the ground cloth down, the sand, settle in the bricks, and put minus gravel in between them, and give you the finished product. That are worried about us being out of breath, yeah, we're out of breath. We just amended the bed against the wall of the house. That's where the daylilies are going to go. Amos is just working in a little bit of the bulb food, and then we're going to put the ground cloth down in here and lay the pavers. I'll show you when the ground cloth gets finished so that you can see what it looks like. Taking a break, and then we will be back to put down the sand and the pavers. So there you go. There's the perimeter. We've got a nice bed going there for the daylilies. This is our finished pathway. Look at this gorgeous expanse. We've got some grasses over here that we put with the little black river rock that we salvaged. Geraldine came by just in time. She planted the lilies in the bed. I had totally run out of steam. And here's our troop here. Amos on the right, Dad in the middle, and Geraldine, my savior, here. And I couldn't have done it without Amos. Look at that. Isn't that just gorgeous? Dad's going to have a nice pathway. He can get right here to his bird feeder. Look, look. And then he can get to these bird feeders. I hope I'm not going too fast here. Don't want to give you like things, but there's his other bird feeders there. See, he can get to those, and he won't trip and fall, and he won't have to go through mud. Hopefully we broke it up with some little decorative stones here. Have little butterflies and dragonflies over here. And we use a variety of things, and the stone in between is called quarter minus gravel. It interlocks the longer it sits and gets rained on and gets walked on. So we bought some extra. Let me turn around here really slowly. And see, there's a bucket there. So we have some more. As it gets down lower, we'll go around the edges of the stones again and make sure that everything stays flat. But it's going to be really easy to just take a flat nose shovel and dig up, well, not dig up, but actually scoop up the black oil sunflower seed shells underneath, and it'll stay nice and wonderful. And then we'll have daylilies next year all on that side. And then we're going to pan around here once more. There's the pond. Look at how big the mock orange has gotten. And the beautiful zebra grass is fluffing out. And look at that corkscrew willow. See? If you go back to April, you will find that it was only the height of the fence. And it grew all of that just in one summer. And then we're going to go back around here, and we're going to get one last look at our friends and our helpers and our assistants. Look at this, it's all perfect. And then this will be daylilies on this side too, and these are the new ones that Jim talked me into buying. And they are not only rebloomers, but they're also fragrant. So being right underneath the windows of my living room, I will have a beautiful smell that is wafting in, okay? So that's the end of this DIY. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you might find some of the information useful.